Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is... Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name is...
Thank you. And what shall I call you?
You can call me...
Can you tell me where you're from?
I'm from the Czech Republic.
Can I see your identification, please?
Sure.
Thank you. That's fine.
You're welcome.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about the town or city where you're living at the moment. Which town or city are you living in at the moment?
I live in Downham Market, which is it's not a village, but it's not a town, so it's something in between, and it's near a town called Lilly.
Why did you choose to live in this town?
I think it's because it's easy to commute to work, and I live very near the station, so rail station. So that's why.
Will you move to another town in the near future?
I don't think so, but I'd like to move to Cambridge, but eventually. But
Why?
because that's where I work, so I would be right there because of the life.
I'd like to talk about laughing now. What sort of things make you laugh?
I think I have quite a black sense of humor, so black comedies make me laugh.
Do you like making other people laugh?
Yes, but I'm not very good at it, so I don't try very often.
Do you think it's important to laugh?
Yes. They say it prolongs life, so I don't know if it's true. I don't know, I just heard about it. I don't know if it's true.
Is laughing the same as being happy?
No, I don't think so. You don't have to be happy to laugh at jokes or funny TV shows. So I don't think it's the same.
So why not?
You don't have to be happy necessarily to laugh. And you don't have to laugh when you are happy.
Let's move on to talk about using computers. What do you generally use a computer for?
I use it at work, for my work, so I am sitting in front of computer basically all day. And then when I go home, I use computer to watch movies because I don't have TV.
So, do you enjoy using computers?
Yes. Yes, I surf at the internet, and at work I test lots of software, so it's part of my life, really.
Tell me about something you would like to learn to do on the computer.
Probably creating websites. That's still an area which I'm not really sure about. So,
Why?
so that I can create my own websites and maybe even progress at work if you can do that.
How important are computers to you in your life?
Well, I was born in a time when there were no computers, and I can't even think about that time because they are such a big part of my life now. So, I mean, I work with computers at work, so not to have computer is unthinkable.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Here's some paper and a pencil for making notes.
Thank you.
And here's your topic. Please don't write anything on the booklet.
Right.
I'd like you to describe something you do to help you to relax. All right, remember you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell you when the time's up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes, so the topic is describe something you do to help you to relax. So I do basically two things. First is arts and craft, and I make cards. I do it at home every weekend. Why? Because I'm just really happy when the product is finished. Whatever I make is finished. It doesn't have to be cards, actually. I do lots of craft. I do crocheting, iris folding, embroidery on cards, so anything, really. I make clay figures. And it relaxes me because it's a solitary work. So, and I'm my own boss when I'm doing it. And just when I'm creating something, time goes really fast. So, and I'm always happy with the end result, which is lucky because I'm not very critical toward myself. The other thing is swimming. I swim 3 times a week in a local swimming pool. And that swimming pool is in Down Market, and it has almost no visitors, so often I'm the only swimmer there. So it's only me and the lifeguard, sometimes 2 lifeguards and 1 swimmer, me. And that's very nice because it's like you don't have to think about anything, you just float in the water, and that's it. I swim in a local swimming pool in Down Market, but sometimes, occasionally, when I don't make it out of work, I...
Thank you. Thank you. Have you always enjoyed relaxing this way?
Arts and crafts since I was a child, always, but I started swimming on a weekly basis just recently, just a few years ago.
Thank you. Can I have the booklet and paper and pencil back, please?
Yes.
Thank you. We've been talking about something you do to help you to relax, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this. Let's consider, first of all, causes of stress. Where you're living now, what do you think are the main causes of stress for people?
In Down Market, I think the causes of stress, the most stressed people, I imagine, are younger people, because it's a community that very heavily caters for older generation. There is almost nowhere for young people, and particularly teenagers, to go and do something, so they just literally hang around on corners or in front of the library and just sit there on benches. Whereas there are lots of clubs and cafes for older generation.
So what do you think are the stresses for the older people?
Well, I think they have much less stress than the younger people, because, as I said, the community caters for them so heavily. Like, there is the senior club and the knitting club, but there's no cinema, no, Starbucks or anything where younger people go.
In general, do you think that people's lives are more or less stressful nowadays than they were maybe 10 or 15 years ago?
I think stress lies somewhere else rather than less. Because if I imagine how my grandma lived, she maybe didn't have, stressful job, but then I consider her home life much more stressful because she didn't have as much help. She had to do everything by hand, and she couldn't go to a shop and buy ready meal or anything. She had to do everything from scratch. So,
and what about in the future? Obviously, you mentioned that we have lots of help with things like technology. Will that make our lives more or less stressful in the future?
I don't think it's the technology. I think it's the expectation that makes life more stressful. Expectations from society and people around us than the technology.
In what way? How do our expectations affect stress?
Because I think people are expected to achieve more than before. You know, like my grandma had a big garden, and she worked part-time. That was her life. That was it.
You mentioned your grandmother and work, having a job. Let's think now about the effects of work-related stress on society. Having stress at work in your daily life, your daily job, what sort of effects does that have on a person's personal life?
I think they start to live from weekend to weekend. Just everything to be over, you know, just do your shift, and Friday will come fast. It could be that people feel stressed at home as well. They relate badly to the members of their family, or they would better if they weren't so stressed at work.
And that's because of the stress at work?
I think so. They just, you know, take it out on family members because maybe they don't have such power at work.
And what do you think employers feel about stress produced in the workplace?
Well, good employers should try to reduce it. I don't know how, really.
So do employers and society have a responsibility to address stress?
Yes. I think, like, for example, working mothers, I can imagine that there's more stress on them because they should, you know, do well at work and as well look after children.
Thank you very much. That's
You're welcome.
the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.